Hello everyone, and once again, welcome to K-Tapes. It's been a little bit of time. I'm a bit behind, work and everything. I don't really have any excuses, but hey, it is what it is. That's why I posted a little video earlier this week, an old TV commercial. I hope you liked it. If you watched it, it's not very long. If you haven't, just watch it. It's a throwback with some computer stuff. It's quite fun. Okay, well today, what I have for you guys, I have a bunch of tapes. Well, I'm just gonna pan here. So as you can see, I got a bunch of tapes lined up for what I want to show you. So it's about like maybe less than 10 tapes, maybe about 10 tapes. Well, nothing special really showed up because I went to Seoul. I checked everywhere, and half of it comes from Seoul, from what I thought would be kind of, I wouldn't say salvageable, but worth a grab before it disappears and there's no more any other way to get that stuff back anymore. And what else I picked up was online, things that I know was really collectible and could possibly sell, or that some people actually would really love to get. So that's where I am right now. Like I said, over a month now, and those are the little gems I managed to grab. So let's start first with this Korean film from the 70s called My Sister's Regrets. In Korean, it's Nuna Hui Han. Nuna, which means big sister, like older sister. Han, this cannot be described. I'm sure if you're Korean, you obviously understand what I mean. It's that kind of feeling of, it's a feeling that cannot be described in one word in English. It's kind of faithfulness mixed with something else. Anyway, you can look it up. Han, Korean feeling. So yeah, this is My Sister's Regrets. Korean film from the 70s, horror film from the look of it. Well, not just from the look of it, it is a horror film. And the great thing about this film is this tape, is that it totally looks horror, as you can see. Even like from the the lettering, the font, with the dripping blood, it's totally a horror film. There's no mistake about it. And the reason I'm pointing this out, although it's stating the obvious, you'd say, is because most of these old Korean horror film that were released on VHS actually do not really look like horror films. They do look more like, almost like erotica. So that's the reason why, and that's a really cool one. I didn't have this one in my collection. I have a bunch of Korean horror films. I do have a bunch in multiple copies. Like I think I have like up to 3 copies because they're more or less fairly rare. So when I see one at a decent price, I grab it. But this one was missing, so I'm kind of glad I picked it up. So there you go for My Sister's Regrets. Second thing is not a tape, it's a DVD. Oh my god. So here we go with KDVD and not K-Tapes, but hey, this was fairly cheap, and I grabbed it because it's one of those weird kids, kids live action films from the 90s, and those are all on tape. Although the tapes are kind of hard to find, the quality isn't that great all the time, and those DVDs kind of do the job. They almost look like bootlegs, because by that I mean because they look like almost like a rip from the tape, or they come from the same masters, which is full screen, no subs, and you get what you get. But it's perfectly serviceable, and if you just want to watch it for the sake of watching it, it's fine. And those DVDs, by the way, the reason is I picked it up because they're getting really rare. There used to be plenty of those, but now if you go to Seoul, you search around, you try to find those, kids exploitation movies. you won't find any. Or if you do, I suggest if you happen to be in Seoul, you find any of those, grab them, because they won't be around for long, and especially since they're fairly cheap when you do find those. This one went for actually $2, and as you can see, it's brand new. So yeah, that was, as I like to say, this was a no-brainer. I picked it up. Okay, move on to the next item. Well, hey, you know, like the last video a month ago, I showed you a bunch of ILSA films. I think there was like ILSA, Tigress of Siberia, and there was the Wicked Warden as well. There was the fourth movie. Well, this is the first one, and if you do remember, I had it for sale, and I had it in my collection back, oh my god, it's been almost a year. Let's say 8 months or something. Like it's been a while. Anyway, happened that I sold the copy because it was in top shape, like it was really near mint. And look at this one. It's I mean, like I said to one guy I know, who actually the person who bought this one, because both of them like sold in a heartbeat. This one is also near mint, and you know, I always say that when I do find something in this perfect shape like this, I always say, well, the chances I find another one, it's probably not gonna happen. Well, it happened here, and I'm really glad, I'm really happy, but chances that a third time happens, it's pretty slim. So no, because the thing is, overall, the She-Wolf of the SS Part 1 tape, I found maybe 4 copies in total, and well, 2 of them turned out to be near mint, like this one, but also the other one was a variant. It didn't have the Nazi written on the front like this, and on the spine it just said ILSA, and the rest was the same. So it's kind of like the cool variant, this one. So yeah, anyway, nonetheless, it's super rare. And in this condition, it's even rarer. I mean, just so you know, there are like 2 copies out there, which I sold, this one and the previous one, and I don't know of anyone else who has such a beautiful looking one. I mean, if there's someone, you can text down below if you happen to have one, but I mean, I would doubt it. So anyway, such a gorgeous piece. I mean, I know the person who, well, obviously because I sold it to someone, but the person who bought it, man, this is a nice piece, une très belle copie. Et voilà. Okay, next, we have something that I found yesterday, and I was on my way to meet someone up, and I was, you know, walking back to the subway station, and happens to see like a guy who was selling like a ton of tapes, and I was like, holy schnapps. I cannot pass this opportunity, and I did like a very quick browsing in what he had, and I found this gorgeous copy of Phenomena. Well, it has a bit of sun fade on the spine, but hey, that's, you see my point here. That's why the other one I'm saying, I was telling you, this one is super rare, because usually, yeah, you get some sun fade, although not that much, but you do get some sun fade with Korean tapes, like 90% of the time, if not more. So yeah, anyway, just to finish my little story, found this tape. The guy had a bunch of other tapes, most of them in good shape, but they were all like repertoire film, you know, like you would say, for example, like a Fellini film, some, I don't know, Martin Scorsese. I mean, I'm not, by no means they're bad films, they're great films, just they're not those cult films, those horror films that all collectors want. So that was perhaps the most interesting one which I picked up. So yeah, I would have been glad if he had more, although that would have made me stay longer to browse, and I was on my way to meet up someone who would have been a bit pissed if I was like even more late, because I was late about 40 minutes, but hey. Okay, so next one, found this yesterday as well, not the same seller with a bunch of tapes on the table, but somewhere else. And oh my god, this tape still had the shrink wrap on it. It was open, but it still had the shrink wrap taped like on the inside. So this is, well, hard ticket to Hawaii. I believe it's the first time I find this, because I never really look for that, to be honest. I may have seen a copy before too, but not in good shape, so I just left those there. But this one, I mean, was hard to pass, because look at this. It's gorgeous. It's near mint. It's mint. I mean, can't get a better copy than this. Even the plastic case, look at this. It's still like all shiny, no scratches, nothing. It's a beautiful copy. So, hard ticket to Hawaii, near mint copy. If someone wants it, it's for sale. Okay, what do I have next? I think some people will like this one. Videodrome. So Videodrome from Canadian director, Mr. Cronenberg. So yeah, this film has two varieties. It has the one with the Hangul at the top and some English at the bottom, and I think there's a version without Videodrome at the bottom. It's been a while since I looked into this, but I know there are like two versions of this. Don't ask me which one is rarer. I think the other one has a sticker at the, like, covering the title or something. It's been a while anyway. So this is from the label CIC. Usually CIC doesn't have like really good looking covers. This one isn't bad actually. This one is pretty good looking. You can really see Debbie Harry's face in the background. I remember, I think the American release, it was kind of hard to see that it was a face behind. Again, some childhood memories here. So yeah, Videodrome. That was a nice pick, I think. Okay. Next, this one came in a big box, although I found like a cheap, like $1 crappy tape, which I changed the sleeve, and I used this nice small box to fit the sleeve. So it is an original small box from the label BPC, as you can see right here. Sorry, I'm holding the phone with one hand, holding the tape with the other, so I cannot focus. I'm sorry. So yeah, this movie is called Dead or Alive, but if you look on IMDb, there are no movies with the title Dead or Alive that happens to be from the 80s, other than a TV series or something. So if anyone can help me here, perhaps with the Hangul or something, this movie is not Dead or Alive. I mean, it's definitely like a war film. I'll need to be honest, I'll need to look it up, put it in the VCR and check what this is exactly. So because there are no like information. Usually they put like the director's name, actor's name, so you can kind of guess or figure it out, but this time around there's nothing. And anyway, the cover looks cool. It's a small case, as you can see. This was probably released in 1984, 1985, very old Korean tape. So this is usually hard to pass, especially if it's in good shape. And this one's in good shape, so there you go. Next one, I found this before last year. I sold the copy to someone, but I found another copy right now. So again, this was a bit hard to pass because, well, Jaws Part 3, and I believe, I'm not sure if there's a Part 2 on tape. I've never found a Part 2, but Part 3 is perhaps the hardest one to get. And also to get in good shape. I found, I think in total 3 copies. One was a bit crappy, the other one was okay, and this one is actually also very good looking. The box itself is still very clean as well. So again, this was very hard to pass. So there we go, Jaws 3. The next one, before I jump into my shitty stuff, I just want to point out this erotic film here. This one came from the internet, bought it online, so it's not too racy. I can show you the back. It's just a couple of sexy photos here. Anyways, girls with bikinis, whatever. The reason I picked this up, it's because those 2 actresses that you see on the cover, especially this one was like, she almost made a jump to like regular movies. although I think she wasn't that much of a good actress, but she had a tremendously amazing body. So she was super famous at the turn of the century, like 2000, like 1999 to 2001. She did a movie which I talked about before, which was called The Shackle. And yeah, she did some photo shoots and stuff. And the other actress was like huge in Korea. I mean, no pun intended here, because she was huge somewhere else. But yeah, she was extremely famous. And I do have a trailer again on my channel that you can look up. It's called Cow Wife Flirt. And this was like one of the biggest, again, no pun intended, series in erotica in Korea. I mean, anyone from that era remembers that. So it's almost as popular as in the West, let's say, Emmanuel. And let me also restate that Korean erotica is just erotica. There's no pornography in there. It's just like plain just erotica. I mean, Game of Thrones is more explicit than this, okay? So anyway, this, I do have part 2. That's why I was looking for part 1. Although, before I move to the next tape, I'll show you, I received a couple of those tapes, like they were like 4 or 5 erotica, because I only wanted this one, and it was part of a bundle. And they were in horrible shape, okay? They were like super moldy. And by that, I mean, you can tell here, because I cleaned the thing like really well, right? But the playback isn't good. So if I find another copy of this in the near future, I will be very happy. But just so I can give you a little example, here is like a cover I kept here. I didn't clean it, but the tapes I bought, the covers look like this, and I'm not joking. I won't show you the back because it's a bit of a racy type of movie, just like the other one, but more sexy pictures. So anyway, just to keep it off the YouTube police. But yeah, the cover looked like this. So I had to remove all this mold, and the tape also had mold. It was horrible. So that said, I know you guys, when you do collect tapes, you probably find moldy tapes and you freak out because they have a bit of white mold, right? This is nothing. You see what I have to deal with here in Korea? Well, this is getting worse and worse with, you know, years. But yeah, if you do see a bit of white mold on the reel, that's nothing, because you see what I have to deal with. And also that type of mold that was on this tape happened to, you know, like I said, it was clean. Just gonna show it to you again. See, it was perfectly clean, but the playback was affected. So you have like those scanning lines, tracking lines that keep, you know, it's a bit jumpy from time to time. So it's really annoying. That's why I'm saying I need another copy. Okay, let's move on. The 3 last movies I want to show you, they're nothing fancy. As you can see, Cherry Fall. This one, what's the title of this again? A Perfect. My eyes are really bad. A Perfect something. I'm sorry, my eyes are getting too bad. I'm getting old. But it's that movie with Mila Jovovich from 2008, 2009. Once again, those movies are nothing special by any means, but they're in extremely good shape. So yeah, first off, we have the 13th Floor, horror film with a bit of sci-fi, I think. I don't really remember this film. I think some people really liked it. The reason I picked those 3 movies just off the bat, it's because I wanted interchangeable cases, so I didn't pay much for these tapes. I just bought them for the cases, and I thought, well, might as well just, because they have like a bunch of tapes, you know, for sale, but I was thinking, might as well just grab stuff I think is a bit rare, or maybe like horror. So if someone wants it and I can, you know, give a good price, why not? So just so you know, these 3 tapes are for sale. If I don't sell them, I'll probably just reuse the casings, the boxes. So yeah, you have 13 steps, 13th floor, sorry. This movie, I cannot read the title because it was, I guess, very forgetful. But I grabbed this one because, as you can see, it's 2009. And this was just barely a year or a year and a half before tapes were gone in Korea. Because early 2011 were the last tapes produced in Korea. So this is a late cycle tape. And to be honest, I think I've never seen this one. So that's why I picked it up. And the last one, yeah, Cherry Fall, because I thought the cover was pretty cool and fairly different from the American release. Totally different artwork. So yeah, that's why I grabbed this one. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I don't have anything else. I wish I did, but it was only those movies that I had, that I purchased. I think I had like another one, but I sold it right away and it went right through the mail. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, but yeah, it's only in a month, and there are a few other tapes I didn't show you because they were not worth showing. But that's, you know, that's what I grabbed recently. I hope I can get maybe similar, if not better, stuff next month. I'm always on the lookout for stuff, and I'm gonna be on vacation, so I'm gonna look up for more tapes. So anyway, guys, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you again in the next video.